ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ ਟੀਵੀ। ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਦਾ ਹੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਵਾਗਤ। ਮੈਂ ਜੋਗਰਾਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਾਲੋਂ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਾਰਿਆਂ ਨੂੰ ਨਿੱਘੀ ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਅੱਜ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਆਨਰੇਬਲ ਮਿਸਟਰ ਡੇਵਿਡ ਐਬੀ ਨੇ। ਲੰਮਾ ਸਮਾਂ ਪੋਲੀਟਿਕਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਹੁਣ ਤੱਕ ਗੁਜ਼ਾਰਿਆ ਤੇ 1 ਸਾਲ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਪੂਰਾ ਹੋ ਗਿਆ ਬਤੌਰ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ। ਸੋ ਅੱਜ ਨਾਲ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੌਜੂਦ ਨੇ। BC ਸਰਕਾਰ ਨੇ ਕੁਝ ਨਵੇਂ ਲੈਜਿਸਲੇਚਰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਂਦੇ ਨੇ। ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੁਣ ਅਸਰ ਕੀ ਪਵੇਗਾ ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਦੇ ਲੋਕ ਨੇ ਉਹ ਸਾਰੀਆਂ ਕੁਝ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਦੇਖਣਗੇ। ਉਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਹਾਊਸਿੰਗ ਨੂੰ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਸੀਗਾ, Airbnb ਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸ਼ਿਕੰਜਾ ਕੱਸਣਾ, ਉਹਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਲੋਕਾਂ ਦੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਇਨਕਮ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਧ ਜਾਇਦਾਦ ਬਣਨੀ ਉਹਦੇ ਉੱਤੇ ਸ਼ਿਕੰਜਾ ਕੱਸਣਾ। ਸੋ ਅਜਿਹੀ ਹੋਰ ਕੁਝ ਚੀਜ਼ਾਂ ਨੇ। ਕ੍ਰੈਡੈਂਸ਼ਲਿੰਗ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ, ਜਿਹੜੇ ਲੋਕ ਬਾਹਰੋਂ ਆ ਕੇ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ 'ਚ ਨੌਕਰੀਆਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਰਹਿਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਨੇ, ਇਹਨਾਂ ਲੰਬਾ ਚੌੜਾ ਕ੍ਰੈਡੈਂਸ਼ਲਿੰਗ ਪ੍ਰੋਸੈਸ ਨੂੰ ਘਟਾ ਕੇ BC ਸਰਕਾਰ ਕੀ ਚੇਂਜਸ ਕਰ ਰਹੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਕੁਝ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਨਿੱਜੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਪ੍ਰੀਮ, ਥੈਂਕ ਯੂ ਸੋ ਮਚ ਫॉर ਕਮਿੰਗ ਟੂ ਸਟੂਡੀਓ। ਯੂ ਮੋਸਟ ਵੈਲਕਮ।
Thank you for having me. It's great to be here.
Yes, nice seeing you once again. And first thing, Premier, congratulations on completing 1 year as a Premier. I think it was 18 November you took the sworn in. And how are the things going on? How has been this year so far?
It's been great. It's been a really busy year. There are a lot of things happening in the province right now. I mean, we had everything from a record forest fire season on the terrible side. On the good side, economically, British Columbia is attracting a lot of investment to our province, and our unemployment numbers are low. And we're passing some good laws around housing. So it's been a busy year. And I'm very much enjoying it. I'm very grateful to British Columbians for the opportunity to do this.
Yeah, many challenges even coming in as being first time in the position. How are you seeing these challenges? Because you are new to this thing. No that you have to be in higher positions before as well. But after becoming Premier, how do you see these all challenges the British Columbians are facing?
Well, it's a very intense time, not just in British Columbia, but Canada and around the world. Slowing global economy, rising interest rates, global inflation in Canada, nationally, a healthcare crisis, a housing crisis, the impacts of climate change here in British Columbia, floods and fires. So there are so many big challenges. And for us, just finding those strategic ways to make a difference, to move forward on these different issues has been the focus, and to stay focused on those priorities.
Being a president of student council at St. Mary High School, and
you've done your research. Yes, that's right. That was a while ago.
Yeah, now being the premier of the province, how far you think this journey is going to go?
Well, my high school administration was challenged by a group of cheerleaders at the school who so there were some intense politics in high school. I guess provincial government in some ways is not that different. There are some intense politics, but for us, and lessons learned since high school days, is I've got a year before our next election, and the goal is really to show British Columbians progress on key issues, on housing, that we're headed in the right direction, on public safety issues, that we're making our communities safer, we're addressing issues as they're coming up, for healthcare, that we're expanding healthcare. Including here, we're in Surrey, south of the Fraser, but across the province, new hospitals. And cost of living. A lot of families struggling with grocery costs, other costs, finding ways to save people money on car insurance, save people money on tolls and on other pieces, showing ways that we can really make a difference in costs of daily life. So staying focused on those goals, and we're not going to solve all the problems before the next election, but showing where we're going is very important for British Columbians.
Yes, Mr. Premier, recently a resolution in BC Assembly was passed explaining the unexplained wealth, like in the British Columbia, in the order of Canada. This is one of the first time in the history of Canada. What do you think this was the need for? What was the thing that was most disturbing regarding this?
Yeah, great question. So one of the first bills when I was sworn in as Premier that I really wanted to prioritize was this law. Because we have people in British Columbia, they have big houses, they have fancy cars, they have lots of money,
lifestyles.
And they have no obvious job. There's no apparent legal way that they're earning this money. And up until we passed this law, there was no way to force them to say, where did this money come from? Including people that were closely associated with criminal gangs, with fraud. There was no way to force them to say, where did this money come from? So this law is very simple. It says you've got all this money, you have no apparent source of income, and the first order is now in relation to a property on Salt Spring Island. This is someone who says that they're a homemaker, bought $1 million property, allegedly closely associated with a major stock fraud. Police think the money in the court documents, they say, flowed through a law firm in West Vancouver into this house. So these people have been issued this order. They need to go to court, explain where the money for the house came from. And if they can explain it, that's fine. But if the money came from the stock fraud, then the government's going to take the house. And that'll be the same for the criminal gangs. We just seized the Hells Angels clubhouses in British Columbia, being torn down, being sold, the property being sold. And for tax evasion and fraud, where people are for every British Columbian that's playing by the rules, they're doing everything right, they're working hard. We want them to know that government's on their side, and we're not going to let people get away with being cheats, being criminals, and taking advantage.
Premier, do you think these wealthy lifestyles, they make an impact on the newcomers, new immigrants to the country, to the British Columbia, seeing people just they're not working at all, just relaxing their lifestyle, their houses, cars? How much impact do they bring on these newcomers, and how much they drag the newcomers to these illegal activities like the criminals, gangs, and the drugs business? Do you think these all make a big impact?
Well, I worry, especially around young people, kids. If they see people getting away with cheating, with crime, making money, they say, well, why do I need to play by the rules? If I play by the rules, I'm a sucker. These guys are cheating. They got a nice house, nice car, nobody touches them. And so it draws a temptation into that kind of lifestyle, and especially for kids. We want to make it clear. We know why people are in criminal gangs, because they want to make money. That's why they're selling the drugs, to make money. That's why they're engaging in this illegal activity, trying to extort people to get money. And we want to go at the source, at the actual crime. You bought this house, we're going to take your house. You want to run a drug lab in your house, we're going to take your house, we're going to take your cars, we're going to take the things that you did this for, and remove the incentive. It's important.
Premier, have you been aware of these extortion letters coming in Abbotsford to many of the businesses, and then many in Surrey as well? No doubt they are the municipal issues, but when it's happening in so many municipalities, it becomes a provincial and the federal issue as well. There have been businesses that are on stock, and they have been receiving extortion letters. So do you think this kind of trend, how you deal with this thing?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about, in that last answer. Trying to imagine a business owner, you're doing everything right, you're working in the community, making the community better, you get a letter saying, if you don't pay us money, we're going to destroy your business, we're going to attack you, whatever. And people are scared. So I talked with Mike Farnworth, he's the head of public safety in our government. He's been working with police. And what police are telling him is that business owners, police know this is happening, but business owners have been reluctant to come forward. If you're a business owner, if this is happening, or you know someone where this is happening, it's so important to bring that information forward so police can investigate. We're making sure police have the resources to go after this, to find those responsible. But we need people to bring that information forward. So really encourage viewers with information to come forward on that.
So, Premier, next talking about the housing crisis. No doubt this is one of the most important issue British Columbians are facing nowadays. You have been talking about this very often, and you brought new legislation as well, taking Airbnb and small rentals into consideration. Do you think how much impact is that going to help? Or other than that, what are the other plans like the government have right now?
Sure. We're just coming out of sitting in Parliament, out of the legislature session. We passed 5 different bills into law related to housing for immediate results, restricting short-term rentals, Airbnb, VRBO, to say you can have one on your property, but that's it. You can't buy up a bunch of condos and run a hotel through Airbnb, which is what people were doing. And already we're getting letters from people since passing that law. I just moved into, used to be an Airbnb, and now I'm renting it. I'm so glad I was able to find a place to rent. We're seeing properties that were Airbnb short-term rentals go up for sale and increase the number of listings available to people who are looking for a place to live. And I don't have anything against Airbnb. My family likes it. We're on vacation, whatever. But we just don't have the housing space for that kind of thing. We also, though, for the long term, allowing people to build more than one unit on a single family lot. So if you're a house-rich senior that's income poor, you could build a duplex, sell half, live on the proceeds, rent out half, live on the rent, have family members move in next door, help your kids have a place to live with their family right next door to mom and dad. It couldn't be better than that. But not have to go through all this process at City Hall, public hearings, architects, all this. It needs to be simple and easy for people to do. And also allowing density beside transit. We're building a massive SkyTrain in Surrey Langley SkyTrain. We're spending billions of dollars. that it is clear that around the transit stations, you're allowed to build the housing that's needed, the density that's needed, so people can live close to transit and get off the roads and just take transit into work, helping with congestion. And that it's easier to do that. So laws like that to increase housing supply, make it easier, but also to open up the housing units that are currently short-term rentals.
Yes. Mr. Premier, last question for this interview today. Credentialing process has been a big pain for the newcomers who are coming to the BC and to Canada. This long process, they can't get straight to the things done. So to deal with the other crises, they have to deal with this kind of crisis as well. Your government took a note on that. How impactful do you think that's going to be?
Yeah, I mean, there are teachers, there are architects, engineers, nurses, healthcare workers that have experience from all over the world coming to British Columbia. We need their help in so many different ways. And instead, they're working in low-wage jobs that aren't related to their training or their skill. So the new law says one English test only, not an English test every year. It says there has to be a clear path that people can understand about how to get certified. It is illegal to demand Canadian experience. How do you get Canadian experience to qualify if you're not qualified to work in the field? So getting rid of that. And so this new law is the first of its kind in Canada. We think it will be very successful. And it's badly needed because we have so many needs for so many different professions. And unfortunately, people that have those skills haven't been able to work in our hospitals and our schools and businesses. So Premier, thank you so much for coming to studio. It's been a year so far, the Premier chair so far, and you still got another year to go for the next elections. So we hope all the best for you and all the best for the British Columbians. Yes, thank you very much. We'll stay focused on what's important to British Columbians, and the fixed elections coming in October. So we'll be ready for that.
Thank you so much, Premier.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. So ਇਸ ਦੀ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ ਆਨਰੇਬਲ ਡੇਵਿਡ ਐਬੀ ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ ਦੇ ਪ੍ਰੀਮੀਅਰ, ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਲੰਬੀ ਚੌੜੀ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ ਇਸ਼ੂਆਂ ਤੇ ਹੋਈ। ਆਉਣ ਵਾਲੇ ਸਮੇਂ 'ਚ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਇਦਾਂ ਹੀ ਜਾਰੀ ਰੱਖਾਂਗੇ। ਮੈਨੂੰ ਜੋਗਰਾਜ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਾਲੂ ਨੂੰ ਦਿਓ ਆਗਿਆ। ਤੁਸੀਂ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਰਹੋ ਪ੍ਰਾਈਮ ਏਸ਼ੀਆ TV, ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਆਪਣਾ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲਈ।